Hi everyone, my name is Lucy Kongo, the head of counseling. I would like to welcome all of you to the 2013 Drug Awareness Week. I know every student who comes to school has the main aim of succeeding, and that is what we'd want to call upon all of you and to help us get to acknowledge this week that is our main purpose in school, succeeding. From my own personal experience, with a family member, with neighbors, this is something we really need to talk about and prevent ourselves from getting into it. If we are in it, let's move out of it. I also want to mention this, that issues of alcoholism, issues of drug dependency have left families poor.
I am Professor Frida A. Brown, and I'm Vice Chancellor of United States International University. Experiences with drugs, I don't really have any other than prescribed medication. But I have worked with people who have had drug problems when I was working in community mental health. We had what was known as, at that time, a methadone clinic within the community mental health sector. So there were a lot of kids whose parents had been on drugs and who had a history of drug use and drug abuse. People who have a problem with drinking should recognize that they do have a problem. That tends to be the first step. Oftentimes people who do have a drug abuse problem are the first stage is denial. I don't have a problem. I can hold my liquor. I can quit whenever I get ready. And when they find that they can't, and that they are being negatively impacted. Their quality of life is not what it is. They can't hold relationships. They're having problems in school. Or they're turning up to class drunk. Then that's a real problem. And they need to recognize that as a problem.
Drugs are bad because they affect your life. They make you behave in a way that you should not be behaving. They alter your behavior. And eventually they ruin you. Your chemical makeup in the body. Many people who use drugs throughout eventually lose even their mental capabilities. They don't function well, and eventually they become addicts, so that all that they have in their life is drugs. Like we say on our board outside, drugs don't build, they only destroy. And my message to students is this, that you were made in the image of God to be able to do something for yourself and the society. That is not by use of drugs. That is by keeping your mental faculties away from drugs so that they do what they're supposed to do. You can only work well if you're sober and clean mentally and physically.
It's a beautiful day. My name is Dr. King. I am at a beautiful place called USIU. What I say to a student who drinks, I believe that it's possible to drink socially, but then one has to know their own limits. And I think that's where the problem comes. People may not know their own limits, so they wind up, for the most part, getting drunk versus socially deciding to have a glass of whatever it is you take, kind of thing. So I would just ask people to recognize for themselves that they know that they're at their own limit. If they choose to drink at all, is that they pay attention to their own limits for drinking and stop at that instead of going overboard time after time after time.
Michael Kisilu, I'm the head of housing in USIU. Not taking drugs, so I can't talk from a personal experience. But I know drugs are not good, they are not healthy. I know they are dangerous substances, and I wouldn't recommend anybody to abuse drugs. Seeing young people get destroyed because of drugs. I have seen students drop out of school because of drug abuse. I have seen parents cry in my office because of students, their sons and daughters, well, in few cases, abusing drugs. I don't think it is advisable for anyone to even think about it. And this includes cigarettes, because most people don't think that cigarettes are really drugs, but I think cigarettes are very dangerous, and alcohol abuse. So we are not even talking about the hard drugs. People should keep away.
Yes, my name is Dr. George Achoki. I'm the Dean, Chandari School of Business, and also an Associate Professor of Accounting at USIU. Well, I can tell you for a fact that one thing: drug is any substance that affects the mind or the body. So drugs have a lot of social effect if taken in excess. For example, we have social problems that go with drugs. We have financial issues that come with drugs. We have health issues that come with drugs. And so drugs as a whole result in chemical processes in the body that affect students and human beings in large negatively. We have depression, we have alcohol abuse leads to things like rape, they lead to inability to concentrate in the exams, death, suicide, and all manner of social malaise. So I'd advise students and everybody at large just to keep away from drugs and stay healthy.
I have my neighbor who sells the things back at my home. I'm not always happy because the effect is that you'll see a lot of people engage in negative activities such as theft, burglary, all those activities. Therefore, for me, my advice is for the youth, at least I'm a youth and I know the feel. Drugs do not solve any problem, they just add problems. You might get high once, but it doesn't solve your problem. So let's have a drug-free society where the youth take care of each and everyone, and let's say no to drugs.
Yeah, my advice to those people who use drugs is that don't use them. They could be good for you. Maybe you would think that it's good for you now, but in the long run it will affect your body, and you might not function well in future. So my advice is that please stop using drugs. They are not good for your health.
You need it, then it's a problem, you should stop. If you're doing it for fun, you outgrow it at some point, you know. But then if it becomes a need, you should stop, you should seek advice, you should accept you have a problem. Yeah.
My plea to all of you is that we make a choice and live a life that is free of drug and substance abuse. I would like to call on all of you to make that choice, to make a difference and to win the future and not lose it, to make the best use of the present and succeed in the best way possible that you can. So enjoy the week, and where possible, make a difference in the life of another person by creating that awareness on issues of drug and substance.
Really, it's of no use, drugs. Keep off drugs as far as you can.
So this is the Drug Awareness Committee, and
our message to students is
live above the influence.